Yo, what's going on, people? And welcome back to the Feuding Bros. As usual, Thierry and Freddie in the building. I am Yan. Guys, what's going on? What's going on? We're a little bit late on the weekend. We are Tuesday today, so we got a lot to talk about. But before we start, tell me how you been, man. How was the weekend?
Yeah,
No.
busy, just busy, busy weekend, busy all around. So
Yeah.
trying to dive into these games for the little time we've had to check it out. We're gonna be able to at least get some good soccer time, football, soccer, whichever. We're in the States, so
We're in the States. Oh man, depressing weekend, man. Depressing. We're gonna talk about it right now, so it's gonna be
The
even
first
more
thing, I mean,
depressing.
I'm all right, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Depressing, but yeah, let's get into it, man. Let's talk about the big game of the weekend. Man United 0, Tottenham 3. Guys,
It is.
I don't even know where to start with this, man. I don't even know where to start. That is your team. And Freddie, I'm gonna go to you first, man. The way you've been talking about Spurs, like they are, like Burnley or something, like even worse. Even worse. You've been trashing Spurs. When we did our predictions, and I put them in the top 4. You were like, never Spurs. I believe those were your words.
yeah. I mean, they're nowhere near top
Tell me what
four, so
happened.
I don't know what's the point.
It did. I just looked at it. He had them fifth, to be fair, so it wasn't too far. But he wasn't too keen on them, to be
They're
fair.
still way
I
off
remember
top
I
four.
I
So
put Spurs first, and he was shocked, like it was never gonna happen. I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just I remember that video. We can bring it back. But yeah, tell me what
Uh,
happened, man. Tell me what
you
happened.
said
You lost.
third, though. Third. That's high, bro, for Spurs.
yeah,
Well, well.
I mean,
I mean, that was my prediction. Is it though? But we'll see. I said third,
We'll
but
see,
I
we'll
didn't know
see.
Chelsea was gonna be this good. I mean, who put Chelsea anywhere? But look at where they are now. But anyway, yeah, let's start with the game, man. Let's talk about the game and the demolition at Old Trafford, man. What happened?
Freddie, you want
man,
to start or what?
I can dive in. Yeah, I mean, just quickly on Spurs, again, they're nowhere near top four. And to be fair, they haven't had a great season. Before we went into this head to head, we had the same record, same number of defeats, same number of wins, same number of draws and everything. Same everything, right? So it was really about testing those two teams. And clearly, no matter how bad Spurs is, we are worse. That's what the result line will tell you. That's why the performance will tell you as well. Talking about the performance, disastrous. Like there's nothing good to take away from it. It was just the last nail on the coffin for, I would say, Ten Hag. The progression, all of the little progression we saw early in preseason and even in the first few games of the season, all of that went out of the window during that game. We saw players who showed complete lack of competency. They literally fumbled. They completely, I don't even know the word. They just crumbled under the pressure. 2-3 minutes into the game, goal, and you look at the goal. There is just no reason for the goal to happen. I mean, as a decent team, you can't let the goal like that happen. Van de Ven, from his defense, going all the way to make an assist into the box, and the
That was
assist itself,
embarrassing. That was
yeah, it was.
embarrassing. I mean, like to just let the guy just walk through the whole team. No one wanted to
That
make a
was
tackle.
that was nobody to take him down, nobody to shake him up. He just went into pretty much a straight line and made a pass, made a cross, and you see Dalo on the other side raising his hands. I was disgusted at
Did you
that
see?
point.
I don't know if you saw the replay of
Mm,
that goal where they had like a wider angle, and
hmm
you can see Dalot.
Stopping, he stopped running.
Yeah, on the other side, he was
Yeah,
next to Johnson. They started on the same. They started next to each other.
Yeah,
and Johnson runs all the way to the box while Dalot is jogging. Like
he's
in
just
the end,
watching him. He's just
yeah,
watching him. The
in
worst
the
thing
end,
is
there's like 15 yards difference between them when they started next to each other. It was crazy.
it was completely that's you not caring for the team. I think. I mean, Dalo has been great, so it was so surprising for him to act like that. That's 3 minutes into the game. Like you can't say you're tired. You can't say you can say it's the manager. That's 3 minutes into the game. That's completely his fault. From there on, the game
All right,
was
now,
already.
Freddie, let me cut you off because you keep getting cut off on the video. I don't know, maybe you want to try and fix that while I'll let Terry talk. Well, because you keep cutting off, we don't understand. We don't quite understand what point you're trying to make. But so just try and sort it out. Maybe restart it or something. But I'll let Terry go ahead and say his piece while you do that, and then you can come back and resume. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's much of what Freddie was saying. Like, it's it's just poor. I mean, like you start the game and you can concede a goal like that. I mean, and we considered the same goal during the week against FC20. Another defender that gets on the ball and he just runs through the team. Nobody's there to tackle him, and I mean things like that. You cannot really say like that's the manager, but at the same time, like are the players playing for him anymore? I guess the questions we can ask, and it doesn't look like it. I mean, on the evidence of at least the last two games, like you can see that just there's so many players that are just like downing tools already, and they're just like, and especially as soon as we hit a step back or maybe we get dominated for 10 minutes, whatever. Like players just start downing tools. They just start. They don't wanna put in the hard work. They don't wanna tackle. They don't wanna run. And they just, I don't know. They just look very just below par. And I don't think this is a team like before where we could say, oh, they're just terrible players. Like before we could just say, oh, these guys are just like they're just bad players. We just have bad players. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
the excuse of last year doesn't wash you anymore because most of your
No,
players are back. Most of your players are back. I think
yeah,
it's only Luke Shaw
exactly.
that's injured, right? And obviously Euro, but he's a new guy.
Yeah, exactly. There's no excuse of like we have bad players. There's no excuse of we have injuries. You have your team. You have your full team. Obviously, there's a couple injuries, but everybody has a couple injuries. Like nobody has a full bill of health completely. I don't think so. Everybody has some injuries to deal with, so you deal with them, and we have more than enough players in every position to make sure we have cover and everything, and that we can put out a strong 11. And for the last two games, I mean, we put out pretty strong 11. Obviously, he rotated a little bit during the Europa League game, but we've put out pretty strong 11s for both games. And there's just nothing. There's just nothing. I mean, at the start of the season, there were at least some positives where you can be like, oh, we can clutch on, like maybe even clutching at straws a little bit. But hey, oh, your XG was good today. You just needed to finish. Oh, you dominated for 60 minutes. Oh, you dominated for 45 minutes. Like, oh, like this and that. The last couple of games, there's just nothing, man. There's just nothing. I mean, FC20, we were barely, I mean, we were the better team, but like it's FC20 and you're barely like beating them 1-0, and then you make a mistake, tie the game. Like Tottenham, they just came. I knew this was gonna happen. I knew they were gonna batter us. I thought maybe we might get lucky because we do tend to do that in big games where we get lucky. They will batter us, hit the post. Onana will be amazing, and then we'll go and like score a couple goals and win it. But yeah, this time there was none of that. It was they battered us from minute one. The record made no difference at all. We were trash before that, trash after that. We actually played maybe even better after he went off the pitch. So yeah, it was just poor, and there's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to hide. I don't think. I mean, like I don't think there was sack Ten Hag now because I think um, they wanna they don't want to make like a rash decision. They're saying, so they're probably gonna let it play out a little bit more. But I mean, we have two tough games this week. Porto away is a very tough game. Aston Villa away is a very tough game, just before the international break. if we get battered in these two games, like I don't see how they can bring him back. I don't see how he can come back after the international break and try to, I don't know, do something like
So
he
yeah, so before the game, this game was dubbed El Sacico, and yeah, I see Freddie is back, so I'm gonna give him the chance to speak in a minute. But before the game, this game was dubbed El Sacico, suggesting that both managers were under a lot of pressure because
I
remember
think
Tottenham as
Andrew
well.
was.
Yes, he was. He was.
No, I think that's media
It
trying
was.
to rally. No, I don't think. I think that's
So he
media
was.
trying to rally him up. He was
It
not.
The
was. It
media is
was.
the
It
one.
was. There was
Tottenham,
some
So the,
pressure.
the
Tottenham
media
is
is the one
not.
putting the pressure. It's not your opinion. It's just what it was.
No,
That's why he was dubbed El Sacico.
It
So the
really
media is
was.
the one.
no. There's no way Tottenham is not gonna sack Ange anytime soon. I don't know why
Well,
It
they.
you
still
know,
has pressure. It doesn't matter if there's a way or not. It still has
yeah, it
pressure on
has
him.
pressure.
There's barely any
He
pressure on
he had
him.
pressure on him. What are you talking about? What do you mean? No,
What?
he had pressure on him. That was just it was all in the media, and the game was dubbed El Sacico for a reason. I mean, I don't know
Nah,
why
man,
you.
that
I
was
mean,
a push.
that's just the way you see it, but everybody else sees it differently.
I don't think
So,
everybody else was saying it that way.
well, yes, it is, but it is what it is, man. That's what we all saw. So before the game, there was pressure on both managers because yes, Pochettino was under pressure. Last week, when they lost, it was when they lost, right?
They won
Who they
last
play
week.
last week? Who they play last week? Tottenham. But anyway, they had a bad result, and yeah, a lot of the Tottenham fans came out, and there were even calls of Poch out, which was never heard before
And
that. I mean,
Yeah.
it was out there, so that's why both managers were under pressure. So before the game, there was like that. So having been absolutely destroyed, and listen, 3-0 actually flatters you because Timo Werner had a Man United top that day. If he didn't, if he played for his actual team, it could have been much, much worse.
Yeah.
Are you guys still on your position that Ten Hag still can do the job, or have you switched like a lot of United fans like you who were defending Ten Hag? I've seen out there now have switched and they're like, this guy has to go.
I mean, you gotta face the reality. What we said, and that's something about the manager being called out and asking for the sack and all of that. The problem is most people had that speech a little too early. That was my only thing. For me, again, I'm like the manager is here to do a job. Let him do the tools. Give him all the tools he needs. Let him do the job, and that's what we're seeing right now. So I think right now is the best time to assess and judge whether or not he's the guy. Now, what is it the guy for? That's another question as well. Like, is it to win the league? Is it to get to top four? Is it to win trophies? If he's the guy for trophies, we've seen that he can do that. Okay. Now, concerning the league, that's where he has most of his issues. So for me, this is, and we said that earlier this season, this is decision time. This is pretty much judgment day for him, in the fact that you have to deliver. If you don't deliver, you will be out. And I don't think, that's going to be a debate. Like, if we don't see the performances, if we don't see, everything that we've been asking for, style of play, and most importantly, victories, he's going to be out. And clearly, that's where most people are moving right now for him to be out. Obviously, people are already talking about Rude taking over and everything. But for me, at least, I think I've seen enough this season to know that, first of all, this guy cannot make us win the league. All right. He doesn't have any clue on how to do that. Can he win trophies? I still think he can. All right. And trophies is something we've been asking for a while because it's been a long time. All right. So he did that part. Now, as far as going the extra mile, the league being, a predominant team and everything, I don't think he can do it. So, yeah, I think whether I think so or not. Uh-huh.
I just want to come back on a couple of points that you made there, and also a couple of points that Thierry made as well while you were gone. So the first point was, can he win a trophy? Yes, he can. He can win the minor trophies, but is that where United wants to be? Is that because we're not talking about Tottenham right now? If it's Tottenham who's never won anything, then I understand that narrative. Then you will take what you get. Basically, that's the position of Tottenham right there. They will take what they get. I think United is at a position where is that big of a club that this is not good enough. I mean, is it good enough for you to win the FA Cup every year and nothing else?
I will say real quick, I'll let Thierry speak, but I will say, look, people somehow have the 08, 09, 2010 Man U in their head. And that's not what we've been. There has been 4 managers that came through. Since Mourinho, we haven't won a major trophy, right? So Mourinho, that's already what, 4 or 5 years ago, even more, if I do the math correctly, right? It's been a while. It's been a minute. We've not been that Manchester United for a minute. So we'll take anything we can get right now to give us the confidence, to make us feel like we're competing, to make us feel like we're moving forward. We'll take those things. We'll take those little trophies, right? I'm not mad about that.
I don't think the majority of I mean, you know more than me, but I don't think the majority of United fans just want to settle for that. I think what they want to see is
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I think what they want to see is progression. And I think under this manager, and that was the second point I was going to make, because Thierry, I think you're being again a little bit too lenient on that guy, because I think it's a liability for your club. When you say that Van der Ven walking through your whole defense and going and cross the ball for Johnson to score, that's not on the manager. I think that is, because there's one thing, right? I've said this to you before today, and you may say that it was a little bit too early, but maybe we all saw what's happening today. I don't know what we were waiting for, but what I'm saying is, the reality is, it looks like, and it's evident now, I hope for you guys, that the players are not playing for him. And there's two things, because the embarrassing thing about this is, as you playing for United, you can have differences with your manager, right? And you can dislike him however you want. But a big club, Man United is like the biggest club in the world, right? When you're wearing that shirt, even if you're not playing for the manager, you have to play for the club, especially in this type of game. And one thing is not to get embarrassed like this at home. Like I said, it could have been worse. If Timo Werner did not sign for United, it could have been worse.
I mean, I don't see how that's on the manager. That 3 minutes.
I don't see how that's on the manager.
As a professional footballer, you cannot.
But, I mean, and that's for me. Like, and that's for me. So, that's the real problem. Anyways, right now. Maybe because this guy is still here because there's fans like you. You're saying it was always, being apologetic about him. The players are clearly not playing for him. That's on him. The manager. Wait. Let's not forget. 3 minutes in, the guys have to be focused enough to play.
Hold on a second. Okay. We had four new players on the field. So they came in and they're like, yeah, I don't like this guy. I don't want to play here. Today I'm just gonna mess up. I don't think that makes any sense. They played.
But they came into a culture. Yes, exactly. And that culture is no one plays for this guy. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, how do you communicate? How do they communicate that in between them, and then they come in and they're like, oh yeah, that's the culture, then I'm not gonna play. I think that's a little bit extreme, just in the sense that a few games before that, just a few games prior, they played well against Palace. It was a good
against Palace. Okay, your two best performances this year have been against Palace and against Barnsley.
Right.
I mean, if that's good enough for you guys, then I'll tell you. And Palace, you needed a fantastic double save from Onana to not lose that game.
Well, so we needed goals as well to win it. We needed goals to win it.
That's where you are.
Anyways, let me basically, I don't think that's on the manager because it's 3 minutes into a game. Any professional coach will tell you that they will probably tell their teams the same thing at the start of the game: keep tight, stay compact, don't make any dumb mistakes. They made a dumb mistake. You cannot blame everything.
Okay, where's the reaction?
You cannot blame.
Where's the reaction after that?
Okay, let me finish. You cannot blame everything that happens on a football pitch on the manager.
I'm not blaming anything.
Let me finish.
It's an example. Why you pinpointing just one thing I said? It's an example amongst other things. The problem is not today. The problem is just it's been there. Go ahead. But I mean, you're not reflecting what I said correctly.
Then go and not finish chances like we've seen in the games before. that cannot be also on the
It
manager.
cannot be on the manager.
There needs to be some balance there on what you blame him for.
Exactly.
Now, I agree that he has not done enough. I think that's what most United fans will say. He has not done enough to keep his job. He has not done enough to put us in a good position. Trophies is a good thing. People are going to try and swing it. Mickey Mouse trophies. A lot of you guys have not won these trophies in a long time. But
Facts.
trophies is a good thing. But you need to add a decent performance in the league and progression. It's not just trophies that will keep you in this job. It needs to be paired with something else. Obviously, his first season, it was paired with something, finished third place. Second season, it was not paired with anything, but there was mitigating factors. So we wanted to see the third season. And I think I don't know if, I'm sure there's some that are still saying he needs time and blah, 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 blah. That's fine. But I think that's most United fans would have said, oh, that with Ten Hag in, would have said, yes, Ten Hag in, but he needs to hit the ground running. He needs to start well. He needs to show progression in the first few games of the season. And he hasn't done that. So it's normal for now fans to say, okay, that was our condition.
That's it. The experiment is over.
Condition. Yeah.
Okay, so right now, are you saying you're Ten Hag out then?
Honestly, right now, like I literally saw the managers out there right now, like there's nobody. But you cannot keep him at the same time.
Listen,
you cannot
the
keep him at the
janitor
same
can do
time.
better than Ten Hag right now. The janitor can do better than him.
Okay, that's fine. But you cannot keep him at the same time because the situation is becoming toxic. So you got to do something. Maybe put Rude. I don't know. You got to do something. But on the thing about players not playing for him, they've been saying that since
they've been saying that. So I don't even understand how you come to that
first year. So like, okay, at one point as well.
How do you ever come to that conclusion? Why are you acting like you've never heard that phrase before? And it's clear when players don't play for nobody.
How is it clear? What are the signs?
I've just said it. When nobody wants to put a foot in, and the guy goes through at least 6 players. No one wants to put a foot in.
One game makes that nobody wants.
One game.
One game.
That's not one game, though. It's not one game. It's not one game. You're being dead. You're being dead since the beginning of the season, and maybe beyond that. 2, when you have Rashford, because you're just taking one example of what I'm saying.
That's the example you gave.
Huh?
That's the example you gave.
Yeah, but you're just focusing on that one thing when there's a plenitude of things. That's what I'm saying. When Rashford is on the field and just walking around, not knowing what he's doing, look at Jadon Sancho right now. Last year, he didn't want to play for this guy, and it's evident now because this year the guy is a different player. The guy is a different player, Jadon Sancho. It's clear that he didn't want to play for this guy last year. I think it's the same for Rashford, and it's the same for a lot of other players in there. So, I mean, basically for me, the guy had to go a long time ago. I mean, if he's staying, I mean, I don't have any money in it, or I don't have anything to hold me to it. I mean, if he stays, that's good for me. But I'm just saying, objectively, as a football fan, this guy has lost the dressing room a long time ago. I don't think anything that he's saying is communicated to is passed on to the other players, because you guys will play decent for maybe 1 or 2 games and then you'll go on a bad run again. That's not sustainable. That's not it. And you've done that for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Go on, Freddie. Go on.
I will say real quick. You can attribute pretty much anything to the players. He's lost the dressing room. You can attribute anything to that. Like, oh, Rashford is not showing up in training today. Oh yeah, you can use so many different things for that. But
that's what you use. That when you use that argument, that's what you use. When you use that argument against other managers that have been in that case, that is this type of example you use. What else are you going to use? Otherwise, you just don't say it.
Well, again, for me, I just don't think there is enough evidence of that. That's just
what more evidence you need. What would bring you to that? If I just walk off the pitch?
Because
That's the thing, because we've seen good performances. That's as simple as that. When you really
Once
not
in a blue moon,
fighting with
basically.
the manager, there's not going to be any good performances. Then that's how managers get sacked too.
Once in a blue moon. I mean, these are professionals as well, so sometimes they'll be like,
Because as well, you guys have been saying he's lost the dressing room literally since
Since the
Ronaldo.
first season.
It's been like
So-
2 years. So he lost the dressing room 2 years ago, and he was still winning FA Cup.
first season,
He was still finishing
I was
third.
the guy.
He was still doing.
That's wrong.
That's
First
why you
season,
guys
I
are
was the guy who was praising.
It doesn't make any sense.
First season, I was praising the guy.
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay, it doesn't make. Literally, after any bad run, he's lost the dressing room.
That's the
He's
thing.
always losing the dressing room. Like
It's not the bad run; it's just the performances. You can clearly see. I mean, but anyway.
anytime last season that he was the game where he's gonna get sacked, or this is the game. If he doesn't win, he's gonna get sacked. They actually have a good performance. So it's clearly not a case, he's just lost the dressing room.
No, exactly. I think
It is though.
I just feel like it's just a
I mean, again,
What plan are you guys on?
one quick thing.
If somebody loses
Thing.
the dressing room, the players
Yeah.
don't play for him anymore.
They just don't play for him.
Somebody
at
cannot
all.
lose the dressing room and still survive a whole season with a
They're not
lost
playing
dressing
for him. These guys. Okay, let me ask you something.
How do you not play for a manager and win a cup? I don't get that.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, winning the cup. I mean, you guys suffered against Coventry. Was it a good performance against
Did
Coventry?
he win the cup?
It was a
Did
good
we win
performance.
the cup or not?
It was despite him. That's the thing. It was despite him. It was despite
Oh,
the
come on.
that you had.
Look.
And it was. Listen, let me finish. It was paper over the cracks, and you guys admitted that in the old video. Because the reality is, this guy's performances got you eighth, and that's your bread and butter. If you go and win the cup, I mean, you got a lucky run. That's the reality. So if you want to paper over the crack with the cup, that's on you guys. I'm not going to blame
I'll
you.
take that. I'll take that
The
over.
reality is,
I'll take that.
That's fine.
this year the guy brought 4 more players, right? And there hasn't been one good performance yet.
They have.
Barnsley, okay.
Not Barnsley. We played well against Crystal Palace. Against Fulham, we weren't terrible. We won a game. Look, here's the thing. I'm not gonna convince you anything. You've been Ten Hag out since he walked in. So there's nothing.
No. Don't say nothing that's wrong. Now let me finish that first, because he said something that's wrong.
You finished 3 times already.
And the first year, because you're saying something that is not right. The first year Ten Hag came in, he finished third, he got the cup. I told you guys, this guy could be a problem next year. That's what I said. So don't tweet anything right now.
Okay, last year you wanted him out. This year you wanted him out. You've been wanting him out after the first season, if that's better.
Yeah.
Now here's the key. I'm not gonna convince you with anything. You've been wanting him out. That's your right. There's plenty of people like that. Matter of the fact is he stayed, right? He won a trophy, he stayed, and the season right now was the litmus test. That was the bottom of it all. Now we can agree, okay, yes, this guy is not gonna take Manchester United to where Manchester United expectations are. Now, my problem is those expectations. The expectations that we are Man United and we are here, we gotta win, blah. I think that's so old. That's so gone. You know, at the time we were winning trophies, Man City was not even in the picture. Now you have new teams. The league has changed. All right.
Okay, so what are your expectations? Saying that, what are your expectations right now?
My expectations right now is progressions. Now that we got trophies, after a long time that we didn't get trophies, my expectation right now is progression, is being competitive in the league. And again, as I'm saying, Ten Hag doesn't seem to be the one doing that. It doesn't. Now, with the argument about,
you're gonna have to repeat that because you cut off.
Oh, my bad. Yes, I was saying, being in the top 4, having consistent, performances and all of that, I don't think is going to be the man for that. That's evident for me now. I think after, a few games into this season, with everything that's been given to him, he really don't have any in it. Okay, he's failing the test. So for me, hey, now we can agree at least he needs to go. All right, he needs to go. I don't think it needs to be something that needs to be rushed. I would personally give him until the end of the season. Let's hit rock bottom. Let's hit rock bottom.
End of the season.
Yeah, that's what I will personally do.
For what?
Somebody
Why?
coming in, we're gonna get new manager bounce. We're gonna get delusional again, and we're gonna think, oh, we got something here, and then it's gonna be the same circle again because it's been the same
I just
since.
don't understand that narrative at all, man.
That's just
Yeah,
my
finish
take.
it. You
We
finish
have
it.
to agree. That's just
You
my
finish
take.
it.
I think
I can
I
speak.
think there's been what now? I think 4 or 5 managers since Fergie. They all had 3 seasons, right? The first season, maybe a little okay. Second, problems. Third, they're gone. That's been the circle. And pretty much, I think 2 or 3 times we brought in an interim manager for the main guy to come. The main guy comes, same circle again. I think we need to hit rock bottom for people to stop having the crazy expectations that, we need to win the league, we need to be top 4, and blah, blah, blah. First of all, we need to be
What's
competitive.
on relegation?
It's not,
No.
that's not relegation. I mean, even if we
No,
finish
because
worse than
you
last
said you need
year,
to
I
hit
think
rock
that's rock
bottom.
bottom. Worse
I
than
think
last year. Uh-huh.
I mean, okay, worse than last year. I think you're on in a good way to be worse than last year right now. Because the
I
only
don't,
thing
Yeah.
the,
I
the
don't know
only
about.
thing that saved this guy last year, and we can agree on that, was his trophy, right? That's the
Yeah.
only thing. That's the only thing we can agree on that. But anyway, let's. I just had this question for you guys as well. So um, after the game, it looks like what they call Inos. I don't even know what they're called now.
I know.
Your yeah, Inos.
Yeah.
It, it looks like they gave him 2 games, the Porto games and the Villa games, to try and turn it around. So my question is, because I heard that I heard this in one of the podcasts I listened to. If he wins unconvincingly both games, 1-0, 1-0, does he stay in the job for you?
If they
No.
was, I
He
think they
can
was.
win 5-0 each of those games. For me, the truth is already out there. There you
So
go.
why did they
No,
give him 2 more games? That's my question, basically.
I'm saying, like, I don't know why they're giving him 2 more games. I mean, for me, if let's say I'm in that position, I'll give him the 2 games to get to the international break, because you change it now, it doesn't even matter anyways. Like, whether we lose or we don't lose these 2 games, it doesn't really matter. So
Yeah.
I'll let him have the 2 games so you get to the international break, and then that's a good time to get rid of him. But like you said, I think they will, if unless we get battered in those 2 games, which is a good likelihood. I don't think they will sack him. I think they will really want to take their time with it.
Yeah. And there's a good reason for that.
I don't think he should be given to the end of the season. Like, no, like we're only 8 games into the season. Like, if we were in January, I can maybe see that. But like 8 games into the season to give him until the end of, so that's another probably 40 odd games that this guy is gonna be there, and like he looks tired as well. He looks like he's done as well. Like,
But
so
when you say, sorry to cut you off real quick, when you say you don't think they want to sack him, but they were in the summer they were looking for someone for a replacement, right? And the reason why he
yes,
stayed was because they
yes,
couldn't find anybody better, according to them.
yes.
So
But now that
why do you not think they will sack him?
because now that he stayed and that he stayed and they backed him, so it's not like, oh, we just kept him. Like, he stayed and they backed him. So now they kind of have to see, oh, okay, we just signed these new players for him and all that stuff. We have to see how that pans out. They kind of put themselves in this position a little bit where they have to give him a little bit of time, because they backed him. If it was just a reason that he stayed and we're just going to do whatever we want, like buy the players we think are good for the club and impose them on him, like, that would be more like a thing, like, okay, like we can just get rid of him whenever he does anything bad. But they worked with him. I don't think all the players they signed, I don't think Euro was his signing, but Delic was, Mazraoui was. I don't think Ugarte was his signing as well. I think that was the club signing. But they worked with him. They gave him some of
look great, man. I know it's his first, but he didn't look great, man. The guy wanted too much time on the ball, but you don't get that in the Premier League.
I was. I mean,
It's hard to judge him on that performance.
he's hard to
alone.
judge him. But
No,
before,
I'm not
I've
judging him.
I've
I'm
seen
just
him-
saying it didn't look great. I know it's his first game, but it didn't look
Definitely,
great.
yeah.
I've seen him at PSG, and this guy, he's all hustle bustle, and he'll run around the field, and maybe that's what we need right now. But the role that they wanted, that I think Ten Hag wants of a 6, he didn't fit that. I didn't see him fit that. So I was surprised when they went for him. I mean, we needed a 6, we needed a body, anyways. But I don't think he was the guy. But I'm not gonna judge him too early. Maybe he might prove me wrong. But I think that's what they're holding on because they backed him.
Exactly. They backed him. They will look really ridiculous to sack him now. Period.
Yeah, it would just look stupid. So
yeah, they're gonna hope he turns it around. They're gonna give him a little more time. And I think even if we win convincingly 4-0 both of those next games, I know. I've seen enough to know he cannot take us.
No, he cannot take
win the league. Period. He cannot
turn it around. Yeah.
He cannot turn it around. It's too late. The pressure from 2 years has mounted to this point. So at this point, that's it. That's his last season that we can be clear of. Unless he pulls out a run that nobody has ever seen. And I mean, he just smashes all the Giants 3-0 back to back, nonstop. Impossible, right? So yeah, I think
and then we come back to earth.
And then what? Sorry, say that again.
And then we come back to earth.
Exactly, yeah. So just in reality, like I think he's done for. Now I'm just really looking forward to see who's going to be appointed. That was a big issue this summer. Yeah,
that's the point. Who is going to be appointed?
There's plenty of guys out there. I mean, you guys turn your nose up at Southgate. Who are you to turn your nose up at Southgate? You know what I mean?
No,
come on, let's be honest.
Southgate is dead. I say that to tease him. But I guarantee you, even if it comes right now as interim for you guys till the end of the season, you just give him a 6-month contract. He will do 10 times better than what Ten Hag is doing now. And
10 times. You said level that you guys can explain.
He will give you that.
What's so much to hate about Ten Hag? Like, I don't get it.
I'm not hating him. This thing is a dead coach.
Bro, this is hate, bro.
I'm not hating on the guy, but he's dead. The guy is dead. He's dead, and I don't know how you don't see that.
Dead when you still win stuff, though. Like, if you dead, you're really dead. If you dead, you really dead.
Just having a bad.
Well, listen, but okay, this is what maybe you didn't see, because you're saying that we've been saying we, as in us. I'm not a Ten Hag hater. What I'm saying about Ten Hag is what I see, and I see poor United. I see poor performances. Okay, once in a while you will come out with a good result, just like you do. I mean, Oli did that. So I mean, if it wasn't good enough for Oli, then it can't be good enough for Ten Hag. And I was saying Oli was dead. So it's not about, if he's a good manager right there. The first season when he came, I was like, oh, this guy's gonna be a problem, because what he did with that team, it was amazing. You finished third, and then you go and get the cup. I mean, for me, it was amazing, and it wasn't even his team. So we waited for him. When you get your team, to push on, and exactly. he has his team now, and he has not pushed on. And on the contrary, he's going down the hill. So what I'm saying, so that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I don't hate the guy just to hate the guy. I know it's United, but I don't hate the guy just there. I'm just being objective. But the guy is not good enough, and you said it yourself. The guy is not good enough, and you're saying that we've been saying that for a long time. Maybe we saw what was going to happen today before you guys. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe you did. But again, it could have went both ways. We started the season.
The trajectory was wrong for me.
Definitely, and I can understand that. We saw the signs. We called out every single one of his mistakes last year, even when we were defending him. We're not blind to obviously the game. But again, for me, I think Ten Hag came and he did a job. He did a job that was needed at the time. We needed to kind of give ourselves something. Like, let's just win something.
Sorry, man. I got to cut you off real quick. You keep cutting off, man. Just say that again.
Hey, work with me, guys. Work with me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, he came to do a job, and the main job he did was to give us a little bit of confidence back as to we can win something, right? That's mission accomplished. Everything we're asking for of him now, he cannot do. We can clearly see, even though he's willing, okay? For me, I can't hate the guy because he didn't have to stay. He didn't have to do everything that he did. At some point, he was manager, he was recruiter, he was like, dressing room manager as well. He was doing so much in the first and second season. And now that he has a structure, again, No excuses.
You're being nice on him too, though.
I'm being nice. I'm being nice. You know,
we are still like I don't expect him to come and win the league and stuff like that. I do agree with you that expectations have come down a little bit. But top 4 is a minimum. Like top 4.
A minimum based on what? A minimum based on what?
We have been getting top 4.
You gave him money. How much you give him? He spent like 600 million.
Yeah, he spent 600 million.
So
and it's not like we've been. I understand the whole trophy thing. We haven't been winning trophies. So
I mean,
if you win a trophy, it's a big point. But we've been getting top 4 here and there, like every other
here and there. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Look,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you come.
He came in, he was third. I mean, he came in, he was third. Last season, he was decimated with injuries. So
exactly. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no.
That's what I'm saying. If we give him this year and then he doesn't do any of that, then yeah, he's crap. I'll be the same one right here, cussing him out just like you guys are. I just think the guy has been under the craziest pressure I've ever seen at Manchester United.
He's like United.
That's United. I understand that, but like you come in. We understand. Yes.
Who's done better than him since Fergie?
Huh?
Who's done better than him since Fergie?
I mean, on the trajectory now. That's a debate.
So he's the best manager in the league then?
Yeah, I don't think. That's a like.
I'm talking about achievements. What is
yes. He has his achievements. He's won the league. He's won the cup. But we never got battered we get battered now under Oli. He's lost 3-0 25 times.
Yes.
25 times.
Dude, I get that.
That's a disgrace right there. I understand you win the cup.
It's still better than the other managers we had.
That's a disgrace, bro. You gotta admit that's a disgrace. He's lost.
It is a disgrace. But look, listen to me.
We have a -3 goal difference. We've scored 5 goals in 7 games. That's a disgrace. You cannot say, oh, he's done that.
Dude, factually, forget the disgrace. Forget the disgrace because we have disgraced team as well. Those teams are here right now. They're competing for the league. Arsenal, namely, right? Disgrace. You can bounce back from that. You can come back from a disgrace. You come and win the league. Yes. Forget about the disgrace. But let me finish. Let me finish. The bottom line is he's done better than every single manager that we've gotten. It's not a debatable thing.
That's debatable, I think.
Debatable how? Tell me who was better than him.
Yes, but to be fair, Mourinho won a trophy too.
What?
Yeah, he won a trophy too.
They all had 3 years.
Van Gaal won a trophy too.
But Mourinho won a bigger trophy than both his trophies combined. Didn't he win the Europa League, Mourinho?
Oh yeah, he won the Europa League.
Yeah. A bigger trophy than the FA Cup and the League Cup combined.
He did that. He was still let go. You say what?
Yeah, I mean it's a debate to be had. I don't think he's been the best manager since Fergie. I don't think so.
You tell me who was the best for you. For me,
that's a big claim.
That's a big claim. I don't think
for me, just on paper, it has been. On paper, it's hard to debate. You have your first season, you finish third with a trophy. You have your second season, you still get a trophy with a decimated team. If we let him have this third year, then we can have a full set of data to look at, right?
I agree.
And that was my point earlier.
But he has to do enough as well to earn that third. You cannot just come and get battered every game and then, we're just going to leave you to have
I agree with that. I agree. It doesn't make me happy to lose 0.5 times.
Huh?
I say it doesn't make me
guys. I just need to bring it in a little bit. All right, we're just going off in Chanda, but hey, this is great stuff, man. I'm loving it. Wow, United, man. Lots of things to say about you guys, man. But yeah, my final question for you is, where are you gonna finish this year?
I don't know.
There is no telling. There's no telling.
Honestly, there's no telling with this guy.
All right. So Freddie, are you still Ten Hag in, or are you saying you're Ten Hag out now, right?
I was never Ten Hag in or out. That's the thing. People are just all into the internet stuff.
Yeah, imagine if you were as we go. This is you talking about somebody you're not supporting. Imagine if you was. I would love to have you any day. Have my back.
Look,
I'm not like you. If they have your back, man, you cannot have everybody else.
I'm not that kind of guy that's on the extreme all the time. I'm not on the extreme. You're just setting yourself up for heartaches if you're on the extreme. I like to be right in the middle, and the middle was we want to see. I've seen now, and from what I've seen, he's not the guy. He's not the guy.
He's. I
Right,
don't think
guys.
he's the guy. Yeah, I don't think he's the guy at all. I don't think he'll make it to the end of the season. I don't know where we'll finish, but yeah, I'm tired of Chaos FC.
Guys, great stuff, man. Great stuff. Woo! What a fiery episode today, man. Hey, guys, let us know what you think about what's been said today. Is Ten Hag the best manager since Fergie, as Freddie claims? Man, let us know. Let us know if you think the same. And is Ten Hag out of his depth and doesn't need to go? Or does he still need 2 more games like Inos is giving him? Let us know in the comments. Please like, share, comment. And also get in touch with our FPL. The link is going to be in the description. We out. Guys, it's been great, man. Peace out.